guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in today. I apologize for it being so long since I've uploaded a video. Honestly, this month I have just been taking it super easy. I did record a bunch of content, but I just haven't been editing or doing any voiceovers or anything. So it's just been one of those kind of recovering from the school year, I suppose. Yeah, so anyways, I'm hoping that this video is the kickoff to a summer series where I'm going to be doing more this, not that's, productive Christian households, talking through some theology of things, that kind of thing. So this week's video, though, I want to focus on meal prepping. And you're going to see in this video, I look very tired. And that is true. I actually recorded this at the very end of our school year, our homeschool year, and just, yeah, super exhausted. So I have been getting back into meal prepping. It's never really gone away. I've done it basically this whole time, but I've just been trying to be more intentional about it. And especially now that I am trying to lose weight consistently, it's just one of those things where it's got to be, you know, I have to be less all or nothing about things like weight loss and meal prepping and that sort of thing. I tend to be an all or nothing sort of person where either I am doing all the things or I am doing not all the things and nothing in between. And I just, like, I think as I'm getting older, I'm starting to realize that it's just not a very healthy way to live, and it's definitely not sustainable. I'm one of those people that will do a 75 hard and I will go all in for 45 days and then I'll just quit and it'll be like I'll never pick it back up again. It's ridiculous. I don't know why I am that way. But yeah, so I say all that to say that in this video I'm going to be prepping a bunch of meals. Most of what I make in this video I do not eat, actually. So right now I'm making some custard, frozen custard. I don't eat frozen custard. It's too high in calories for me. If you've been with me from the beginning, you know that weight loss has been a thing that my weight has been a thing that I have just struggled with for years. Most of it is just sin. It's just, I'm just going to call it what it is. I do not subscribe to body positivity or anything like that. The reason that I struggle with weight is because I struggle with sin. So that is that. But there are some things that I just don't eat because I know it's too high in calories, and frozen custard is one of them. Now, if I had built that into my calorie log at the beginning of the day, then I might have a serving or something. But I make this for my husband and my son. They really enjoy vanilla frozen custard. I like baking and cooking and making food for them, so that's what I'm doing here. I've also boiled some eggs. We have a friend who has a bunch of chickens and she is very generous with her eggs. So we get several dozen eggs every week from her. And I like supporting a small family business, and I get a great deal for local free range organic pastured eggs. It's great. Yeah, so what I'm doing here is I am mixing 1.5 cups of whole milk, with 1.5 cups of heavy whipping cream, 6 egg yolks, and I'm going to be putting some vanilla in there as well as a dash of salt and some honey. And then I'm going to heat that to just to its boiling point. And then I'm going to temper. I'll take some of that warm mixture out and I will very slowly temper those egg yolks, which you're going to see me doing here with that heated mixture. And to temper it, the reason that I'm tempering this is I don't want those eggs to scramble. I don't want them to cook, not just yet. I want them to incorporate and get really, really creamy. So it's these egg yolks that actually make the frozen custard super smooth and super creamy and super rich without a lot of sugar or other additives. So just very slowly adding that hot milk and heavy cream mixture into those eggs, whipping it as I'm going along. And then once that's tempered and I have the full cup added, I will dump that into the bowl with the rest of the mixture. And then I'm going to whisk until that hits, I think, 170 degrees. I don't want it to go over that. Once it goes over that, it'll start getting real chunky and gross, and it's not great for frozen custard. So I'm just using an Insta-Read digital thermometer. This whole process goes really fast. And then that is going to go into a container. I'm going to dump that custard base into a container and put a piece of plastic wrap on it after it is cooled to room temperature. And then once it's at room temperature, I stick it in the fridge. And then it can just sit in the fridge for however long I need it to until I'm ready to put it into the ice cream attachment for the KitchenAid. And then it takes about 20 minutes, give or take, for it to churn into custard, or ice cream, I guess, custard. But then the boys have a healthy, zero additive, no sugar, or low sugar, because there is honey in there, I suppose, low sugar ice cream option for snack. Like I said, it is not calorie friendly, so it's not diet friendly, but they do love it, and I like making it for them. So in this section of the video, I'm going to be making egg bites for breakfast. I make these. They're a great high protein, low-ish calorie breakfast option or snack option. My husband loves to take these for work, so I make a dozen or so every week. I use these cupcake liners. They just make for really easy, like mess cleanup, so he can eat them while he's in his work truck. And then he just has to throw the wrapper away. He doesn't have to like carry utensils or anything. He has like a little, I don't know, catch-all sort of system to eat these in. And this is just really simple. This is a dozen eggs, some heavy cream, whatever spice mix you have on hand, and then I put either bacon or breakfast sausage into the bottom of each of those cupcake liners, and then I bake them at 350. So there you go, you've got the breakfast sausage. I don't always pre-cook it. Sometimes I do. It just depends on like how I'm feeling. Sometimes I'll bake it with the sausage not cooked, since it's going to bake anyway. And it bakes just fine that way too. So if you're short on time, you don't have to pre-cook the sausage. You can just throw raw sausage in the bottom of there, and it'll bake in the oven. Just make sure that you temp it out to the correct temperature. So anyways, I'm just filling the bottom of these cups with some breakfast sausage. And we have a great local butcher who makes their own breakfast sausage, and they do it sugar-free. It's pastured pork. So about once every other month or so, I'll buy a box of pastured pork from them. And then this is just the egg whites and the eggs that I had left over from making the custard. So I'll put 6 egg whites in here plus a dozen or so eggs. Maybe not quite a dozen eggs, maybe about 10 eggs, whole eggs, and then whisk it with some heavy whipping cream, which was just the little bit that was left over from making the custard. Fill each of the cups to the top of the muffin tin. I probably put a steakhouse seasoning or a fajita seasoning in here. Those are the two that my husband really seems to enjoy. So then I will top this with some shredded cheddar cheese. And yes, I do shred cheese from block because it is so much less expensive. It is way cheaper to buy block cheese than it is to buy shredded cheese. And you also don't end up getting cheese with a bunch of additives. Shredded cheese, in case you didn't know, contains cellulose, which is like a wood pulp fiber. It's a plant fiber. And they do that to keep the cheese from sticking to itself after it's been shredded. So I just do this instead. This takes less than a minute to shred enough cheese to cover each of these with an appropriate amount. And I'm not calorie counting. I don't tend to eat these. Every once in a while I'll have one with like a little bit of salsa and sour cream or anything like that, or something like that. But these are usually for my husband for breakfast. He does not have to calorie count. He is actually underweight, and he just has like a super high metabolism. His job is very physically demanding. He's super active. We have opposite issues when it comes to our weight. We just have very opposite problems. He cannot gain weight for anything, and I have the hardest time losing weight. So we are complete opposites in a lot of ways, including that way. But there was this great time, this was probably about, I don't know, 10 years ago now, where we were both heavily working out, and he gained about 40 pounds of pure muscle and I lost 80 pounds of fat. And he still ended up being like 40 pounds less than me at that point in time, but he looked pretty bulky, I guess. And he was all muscle. And then the moment, I'm not even joking, the week that we stopped doing that, he lost all the weight. He lost all the muscle he put on, and he went right back to where he was. And I gained basically all my weight back, and I went right back to where I was. So unless we are both very, very intentionally trying to lose or gain and count calories and weight lift and cardio and all that, neither of us, we just have a really hard time. So I'm really appreciative of him, because he doesn't ever give me a hard time about it. He knows the struggle, because he's gone through his own struggle with attempting to gain weight. But anyways, in this bowl, I am now making crab rangoons. This was actually taped back in March, which is my sister's birthday, and crab rangoons are her favorite. So I decided I would make some, because I figured I could make them the same or better than our local Chinese takeout place. So it's just, again, these are not calorie friendly. These are a once in every blue moon sort of treat. This is just going to be cream cheese, sour cream, imitation crab, green onions. And in case you were not aware, green onions are like the easiest thing to grow. Get yourself a bunch of organic green onions from the grocery store and plant them. Literally, just go stick them in the ground and they will just reproduce forever. I have green onions that I got organic green onions from the grocery store. I have 3 bunches in my front flower bed that are now, I don't know, 3 years old. And they have flowered several times, and I just take the flowers and cut them off and collect the seeds, and I'll grow basically like tiny green onions, chives, I suppose. They're not actually chives, but I'll use them like chives. So anyways, green onions, easiest thing in the world to grow. You could have an absolute black thumb and they would still work for you. So these are just wonton wrappers from the grocery store. I probably could have made wonton dough, but I just didn't. These were inexpensive and fast, and I wanted to get somewhat close to the restaurant experience for her. We really do not eat out all that often, once or twice a month at most, and even then we've been cutting that back. It's just so prohibitively expensive to eat out. So my son took me out for Mother's Day, and the 2 of us went to this little local breakfast place that is not expensive. Like, it's probably one of the cheapest places around. And for the both of us to have brunch there, it was like $40, and he was floored. And I know that's probably cheap for some of you guys, but this is truly like a mom and pop diner sort of place where the food is not fancy and neither are the prices. And he was like, wow, it is so expensive to eat out. And I was like, yeah, that's why we don't do it. So anyways, you just mix that up, that imitation crab, cream cheese and sour cream with some green onions, Worcestershire sauce, and I think I put a little bit of Old Bay seasoning in there just for kicks and giggles. And then you take and you wet the edges of the wonton wrappers and kind of squish them. And then you fold these over. And the first couple that I folded, I did not fold correctly. I kind of folded like a tortellini instead of a wonton. But then I figured it out relatively quickly that I was like looking at them, like, these don't look right. They're going to taste the same. But I wanted them to look like the restaurant ones. So I was kind of like, okay, how do I do that? So you can see me here trying to like figure out how you wrap them to get them correctly shaped. And I think I figured it out here where I was like, okay, yep, there we go. That's the right shape. So, instead of folding the corners over on themselves, bring the two bottom corners of the triangle together and then fold them like overlapping. I don't know if I'm explaining that correctly, but they tasted great. They tasted just like restaurant ones. I deep fried them in some avocado oil, and it was maybe about 3 to 4 minutes. And again, these were not low calorie. These are not an everyday food. These were just a very special treat for my sister's birthday, who she's completely obsessed with crab rangoons. Like, she sends me crab rangoon memes all the time, which is really funny. But anyways, these turned out really great. I just found some recipe online that was like authentic crab rangoon or something, and I used what I had on hand, and they were indistinguishable from what we would have had at a Chinese restaurant. So I guess there is no such thing as an authentic crab rangoon because they tasted exactly the same. But these were a ton of work. So there are the egg bites that I pulled out of the oven. So you can see they're the size of a normal muffin. And this was just a huge meal planning day. So that's like, I had already churned the custard, got that in the freezer. I had made some sourdough bread. I made our hard-boiled eggs that needed to be peeled. My sink was completely full. Like, my sink is full all the time because I'm cooking 3 meals a day usually. Or if I'm not cooking 3 meals a day, then I am doing massive meal prepping where, like, 3 meals or more are piled up on top of each other there. So in order to get the sink clean so that I could peel the eggs and run the water for that, I needed to empty the sink. I think the dishwasher was already going here. So you can just see like how many dishes this particular day of meal prepping produced. So I am stacking everything over there on the other counter so that I can clean the sink out and have a clean place to peel the hard-boiled eggs at. I really like hard-boiled eggs as just like a snack, or even as a fast breakfast if I gotta run out the door. I right now am trying to get 150 grams of protein a day, and I am super struggling because I am trying to do that with 1,800 calories. So if you're not familiar with weight loss, which seems weird, but a lot of people don't understand that weight loss is just a mathematics game, and it is just calories in versus calories out. It's actually super simple. I have lost and gained a bunch of weight doing this method. But the fewer calories you can eat and the more calories you can burn, the faster you lose weight within a certain amount. So it's not recommended that you lose more than 2 pounds a week. And in my experience, even hitting that 2 pounds a week mark is very restrictive. It's not a lifelong way to eat. I was doing that with 1,200 calories a week and running 3 miles every morning and heavy weightlifting basically every other day, plus calisthenics, plus your daily just energy expenditure. And it is very difficult to hit that target. I lost a ton of weight really fast. I had a lot of extra skin because I lost weight so fast. But all that being said, it's entirely possible. And all I did was count calories and move. That's all I did. I didn't need to do any special diet. I was even eating a lot of chemically type of things because I was not doing whole foods or anything at that time. I was just counting calories. So, I get kind of upset when I see people who are like, oh, I'm starving and I can't lose weight. It's just not true. Like, it's not physically possible. Your body is not the body that breaks the law of thermodynamics. I am proof of that. I'm diagnosed with PCOS and I also have low thyroid. So my metabolism is working against me. I also probably have some sort of like adrenal fatigue or something like that. Not that I've been tested for that, but just from crash dieting over the years. This is much more sustainable, what I'm doing now, which is just counting calories and trying to move a little bit more. And the weight loss has been slow this time. I'm not going to lose 80 pounds in 6 months like I did last time. But this is so much more sustainable. So anyhow, while I am doing all of this cleaning, I have got to keep an eye on the rest of the meal prep that I'm doing. So while I'm doing this cleaning, I'm also meal prepping for my husband's lunches for the week. So typically either Saturday or Sunday, just depending on what our week looks like. We have church Sunday morning. Sometimes I sing on our worship team. And then we also have our small group Sunday nights. So Sundays are real busy. It just depends on what kind of time I have. But typically either Saturday or Sunday, I will do meal prep for the following week, which is where I will make all of my husband's lunches. He eats largely carnivore, not completely, but just largely. We've found that has really helped his migraines and allergies even. He is off all allergy medications since switching to mostly carnivore style of eating. So anyways, I am doing what I will typically do is I will do meal prep for the week. I'll make a bunch of hard-boiled eggs. I'll use up whatever sourdough starter I have saved throughout the week to make waffles or pancakes, get those in the freezer, and then I will also cook up a bunch of meat for the following week for his lunches so that in the mornings I can just pack him a lunch real quick and get him out the door. That way neither of us has to wake up ridiculously early. We both go to bed fairly early, but I'm just one of those people that needs 8 hours of sleep. Like if I'm not getting 8 hours of sleep, I'm suffering. So anyhow, I will also make ice cream for the week, or custard, I suppose, frozen custard. And I will pull out all of the meat that we're going to be using throughout the week and get it in the fridge so that it can start defrosting. I find that this particular thing is very helpful, even if I'm not full meal planning, like even if I'm not full meal prepping, just getting the meat in the fridge gives me zero excuse not to cook something that night if I don't already have something planned. So if we're having a busy week, it's just super helpful if I already have ground beef thawed out in the fridge, if I already have some pork chops thawed out in the fridge. Then I can just do something really fast like pork chops and mashed potatoes with gravy, and not a big deal. Like that meal goes really fast, under 30 minutes. Same thing with some ground beef, taco seasoning, and then lettuce. Look, taco salad bowls. It takes like 20 minutes to throw that all together. So, and that is because we actually live pretty far away from any sort of fast food or anything like that. It is actually way faster for me to cook at home than it would be for me to go out and get something last minute on a weeknight. So this just is a way of me keeping the grocery bills down, and also making sure that we're eating healthy, that I always have something so I don't have any excuses as to why I can't make something, you know. So here is just ground beef from a local butcher, and then beef stock that I canned at the beginning of the year. We're pretty close to out of beef stock, this is the first time that I've run out of beef stock so soon. I'm gonna have to probably can some more here in a month or two. And I'm just going ahead and doing a little bit more cleaning while I am waiting for that beef to cook down. This is a never-ending thing. Like if you've ever come into my house is pretty tidy, but my sink is always going to have dishes in it because there's always something being made. It might be like I'm doing hospitality for a family at the church that needs help or whatever. And here's my, lovely husband, the one who can't gain weight. Coming in to talk to me about, stuff going on during his week or whatever. And he's a big help to me in the kitchen too. Sometimes if I'm like drowning and stuff, he'll pitch in. Usually it's just me like trying to manage my time better, and I always like his input on how I can manage time better. It is actually super late at night right now. I'm just trying to finish up all the stuff this is after dinner even. So I'm just trying to finish up cleaning all the stuff that I did not manage to get done in the, I think, 3 or 4 loads of dishes we did this day. So it was a lot. There was a lot going on. Anyways, I want to just give a huge thank you to all of my new subscribers. I really appreciate all the likes, the comments, and the shares. You guys are super, super fun and incredible. I did not expect this little hobby project, learning YouTube thing to go as well as it has. So I am very, very grateful for all of your support. Again, the best thing that you guys can do if you want to continue supporting my channel is just to share my content with someone that you might find it helpful. This is some organic taco meat seasoning that I got from Azure Standard. I had a huge Azure Standard haul this month for June, but I did not record a video for it. We had company in town and I just thought it would be rude to do that, so I did not. And I probably won't have another big Azure haul like that for another like 2 or 3 months, I'm assuming. We'll see what happens. I'm almost out of organic coffee, so I might have to make the decision to place another Azure order just to get some coffee. I think they probably have like a minimum ordering amount that you have to place, but I'll have to look into that. So anyways, I am just making taco meat here. And what I'm going to do is this is going to be for my husband's lunches for the week. He'll get this is 2 pounds of ground beef with some beef stock and taco seasoning. And I'm going to put that into separate containers for him. While that is cooking down, I'm going to go ahead and peel these hard-boiled eggs so that those are ready for the week. And finally, my sink is almost empty. Like, this has taken all day. I laugh because some people are like, oh, I don't know how your house stays clean. And I'm like, oh, it's because the only room that I'm ever in that makes a mess is the kitchen. Everywhere else it stays pretty tidy because I don't spend a whole lot of time anywhere else. I really do love it though. This is my favorite place to be. I love being productive in the kitchen. I love feeding my family. I love providing for the members of my church. I love taking meals to people. I love just popping by with little treats for my neighbors and my friends. Like, it's so much fun to me that's a thing that I get to do. And the Lord has just richly blessed us and provided us with those opportunities. So I'm not going to bore you with a ton of egg peeling here. I'm pretty sure I speed this video up just to show you how we pack the meals for lunches. So for my husband's lunches, I will pack usually 6 meals. He usually works Monday through Saturday. Sometimes he takes Saturdays off. Like, his Saturdays aren't mandatory necessarily, but he normally does work on Saturdays. So usually for the week, I will pack 6 meals for lunch, and then I will make those egg bites, and he'll take 2 of those for breakfast, plus maybe a slice of banana bread or half a bagel or something like that. It's just depending on what he's feeling into that week. And then I will pack him 2 hard-boiled eggs and a handful of chocolate, usually some sort of like sweet little snack. Sometimes I will make him chocolate chip cookies or brownies. I just ask him ahead of time what he would like on the menu for the week. So this week he wanted hard-boiled eggs, taco bowls, chocolate chip cookies, and egg bites. So that's what I was doing this night. So in order to, I got these containers. I want to say we got them off Amazon. It was either Amazon or IKEA. I'm not 100% sure, but these containers actually have been fabulous. They don't stack great, so they do take up a lot of space in the cabinet, but the seals on them are really, really phenomenal. So you'll see here they don't stack inside each other well. They are glass. I did want glass containers because I didn't want the microplastics, or plastics tends to get brittle using it in the microwave or the freezer or the dishwasher. And since those are all 3 things that we do use, I try not to microwave stuff, but sometimes it's just kind of inevitable. It's super convenient. But so what I'm going to do is I split that 2 pounds of ground beef with the taco seasoning in between those 6 containers. So I don't know what that works out to be, probably like about 8 ounces per container or something, maybe a little bit more. And then I will top that ground beef with some probiotic sour cream. Nancy's is our favorite brand. It lasts a really long time in the fridge, does not go bad like regular sour cream because of the probiotics. And then I will also shred some organic raw cheddar cheese on top of there as well. And then that will be his lunch bowls. And my husband has oral allergies, so he does not eat raw fruits or vegetables because they actually give him anaphylactic reactions, and he does not like cooked vegetables. So carnivore works really well for him, or carnivore-ish, since he still will eat things like chocolate or sourdough items, that kind of thing. But not really any fruits or vegetables. He just cannot tolerate them digestively. They absolutely wreak havoc on him. And we did do some allergy testing for that, and it turns out he's allergic to basically all the fruits and vegetables, and he's allergic to all the pollens. So what ends up happening is, because he's allergic to all the pollens, all of the fruits and vegetables are cross-pollinated with different types of trees that have the pollens that he's highly allergic to, and then he eats them and has an allergic reaction. So that's oral allergies in a nutshell. And I was convinced that he needed to have fruits and vegetables. So being the good wife that I am, I was trying to make him eat them even if they were cooked and disgusting. And he hated them. And so eventually I was just like, you know what, this is stupid. I'm not gonna make you eat this. You're a grown man. You don't have to eat it, you know, if you don't want to. And then it turned out that we believed that the fruits and vegetables that he was eating were causing inflammation, which was making his headaches worse. It was making his seasonal allergies worse. It was making everything worse. And so when he cut out fruits and vegetables, he got better. And it was wild to me because I cannot fathom. I love fruits and vegetables. I cannot fathom living without them, but he is completely okay with it. Potatoes and meat, and he is a happy, happy man. And you know what? I'm happy for him. I'm happy not to have to cook vegetables to death for him. So, but I'll prepare 6 of these. I will put the covers on them and then stick them in the fridge. And then in the morning, I pull one out for him, and I put it into his lunchbox. He has a heated lunchbox that plugs into a, cigarette adapter or whatever in his work truck. And it acts as like a little, I guess, mini stove or whatever, and warms his food up for him while he's working on one of his jobs. And then he can come back to his truck and eat a hot lunch. So I used to pack him sandwiches, and we kind of stopped doing that in favor of a higher protein, higher calorie lunch, like a taco, like an entirely taco meat bowl like this. So, and he has really done well with that. So these containers that I got, they just work really, really well. They have held up in the dishwasher, in the microwave, and in his heated lunchbox as well. If I can remember, I want to say we got these on Amazon, but I think IKEA sells one that's very, very similar. So here I'm just adding like a tablespoon or 2 of probiotic sour cream so that it's not like dry meat. Not that it is dry meat, but after sitting in the fridge for a couple of days, meat can kind of dry out a little bit. So that is basically it for meal prep for this week. And my meal preps will end up looking very similar. It will be some type of high protein meal that goes into his lunch boxes, plus egg bites of some variety or another, plus hard-boiled eggs, plus some type of sweet treat like sourdough chocolate chip cookies or sourdough brownies or something like that. And then that's it. Like it's all real simple. This whole process takes maybe 2 hours from start to finish. It creates a ton of dishes, but then meal prepping is pretty much done for the week. And I need to start doing this for myself as well. I just have to do it. I have 0 excuses. I just have to do it. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you found this content helpful or encouraging or edifying, please like and subscribe and share. And I'll see you in the next video. Hopefully I'm gonna be way more consistent here, maybe 2 videos a week or something upcoming. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.